Hi, and welcome back to Musicians Edition Practice with me for alto saxophone. I'm your teacher, Reesa, and today we're working in the Standard of Excellence Book 2. We're on page 36. We're looking at Romanza Part A, okay? So this is written by our good friend Beethoven, so it's a nice classical piece, all right? So let's take a look at what is going on. So first, our tempo is nice and slow. Okay, so that'll help tremendously, especially there's some areas with the 16th notes. No need to panic because it's a slower piece, nothing crazy. All right, let's take a look at our key signature. What do we have going on? No sharps, no flats. But if you look ahead, you can see that there are some accidentals, just kind of need to take a mental note of when you first sight read it. Okay, tell me about our time signature. Common time, keeping it to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? We can see that we're starting the piece off with 2 beats of rests. Okay, so we have a half rest. Okay, let's just take a moment to take a quick look through the music before we just sight read it. Take any mental note of things that will be coming up. If there are things you think you might miss, just go ahead and circle them in right now. All right, let's go ahead and just sight read this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. So as you can see, this is a nice calmer kind of piece, though there are a couple tricky areas. So let's just take this section by section so we don't overwhelm ourselves. So let's go ahead and take a look at the beginning. Remember, we're going to be resting for 2 beats. So if you missed that, circle that in, okay? I know it's habit for us to come right in on 1, but we don't. Here we come in on 3, okay? Here, I don't think there's anything tricky, though you do have to watch your Fs, right? So like the first F we have is natural due to the key signature, but then in 4, we have it marked as F sharp. 6, we go back to F natural. and then 8, we're back to sharp, okay? We'll just stop that last note, or that first note of 9, okay? And then the rhythms, right? We have the dotted quarters going into the 8th, so just hold that a little longer. 1, 2, and 3, 4, okay? And then it's the same thing coming back down. Okay, so if you need to write your counts in, you clap them out. 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, E, 1, 2, or and. Okay, so let's go ahead and play beginning to first note of 9. Ready? Remember, we're resting on the first 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect, and we'll just stop right there. Okay, so hopefully that was a little bit better, paying attention to your rhythms, knowing that, you know, the dotted quarters going into 8ths and the dotted 8ths to 16ths, you know, you're not caught off guard by them this time. This time, I want us to add in our articulations, okay? So we can see we have a good hunk there that is slurred, okay? So make sure we slur them. Da, 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 da. Okay, this time, add in the articulations. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. If you struggled with them a little bit, just make sure to slow it down. A good way to just do it is, literally slow it down. I used to have a teacher that, because I'm not gonna lie, I used to struggle real hard with articulations. And if it's something I didn't practice, you know, I've had a couple people call me out on performance pieces. Keep in mind, sometimes I don't have time to practice these before we shoot them. The practice with me is I've made time, but the performance pieces, I don't always have a lot of time for it. And so there was a studio session that kind of just sprung up on me, didn't have time to practice. I was like, all right, we're just gonna pick a piece. I don't have time to practice this. And I could get the notes and stuff, and there was someone the other day who was like, yeah, you did pretty good, but it would have been better if you articulated the way it was written. Thanks, pal. But anywho, so anyway, when I was young, I used to really struggle with articulations. I'd kind of just do what I'd want. And so what we would do is we would slow it down, and then we would really make it big, over the top, just so you knew where exactly you were tonguing. So it would sound something like this. And then that way I knew where I was supposed to tongue. It was over the top, but it's easier to take it from over the top to bringing it back down than it is to just bring it down to up. I don't know, there's something about that. So if you're one who really struggles with your articulations, take it slow, make it over the top, so then you become confident where you're tonguing, okay? So if you're struggling, just make sure you take time on your own to practice that. All right, last time we'll do this section. This time I want us to add in our dynamics. So it's marked mezzo piano. We're gonna stay, be kind of soft. And then towards 9, where the part we didn't do yet is crescendoing up. Though there are places you can kind of put some emotion into it. You could bring a little bit more dynamically. You still want to keep it kind of soft, but there's certain places you can make it come a little louder and take it back. You don't want to be anything too drastic though. So anywho, let's play it mezzo piano this time. And still do your articulations. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. All right, let's go ahead and move on. So it's going to be the pickups to 10 to 17, okay? This is very similar to kind of what we did here. Now, it can be tricky, 9 going into 10 because we have the F sharp. Well, then the new measure means we have F natural. So if you missed that, mark it in. So it's that there's a 10 F natural, okay? And then just watch your C sharps as well. So like 11, C, B, C, C sharp. And then 13, right? Gotta watch those Fs again. We have D, F sharp, G, F sharp, because that's in the same measure, then to F natural. Okay, it looks a little confusing because you have F marked next to F, but it's actually F sharp to F natural because of that whole new measure. So if you missed it, mark it in. Okay, and then 15 is just like what we had with the C's. And then I think we're good. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're playing, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, right at 9, and then we'll play, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, excellent job. Okay, so that's probably about the pace we want to be at. So the nice part is we're not really speeding up, we're just kind of working on the little details. All right, this time we're going to add the articulations back in if you didn't do it. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. This time, we're going to add in our dynamics. So we haven't marked that when we first start this section. We're going to crescendo up to mezzo forte, okay? And then from there, you can still put in your own kind of, you know, don't get too drastic, but you could still put in a little bit of your own dynamic movement, right? So there's times I get a little quieter and times I get a little louder, but I still keep it within the mezzo forte range. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. So that should be pretty comfortable, especially for dynamic-wise. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at 17. In my opinion, this is a pretty fun spot, and if you're playing along with the piano accompaniment later, the piano very much goes along with what you're doing here, all right? So also with that, that means you want to make sure you actually rest on your S, because if you don't, you're gonna stand out. Okay, so we ended, yeah, just watch your rest, okay? So good way to just act like, if you don't really want to like count 1, 2, 3, rest on and, play 4, rest on and, just act like they're staccato quarter notes. And that is kind of what I think of it, because personally, I don't fully count all the way. Well, depending on the sections. You know, I'm still counting or keeping my foot tapping to the beat. I will do that. But in my head, I'm not counting 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. You know, I'm just looking at it. So when I'm playing, it's just ta, 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 ta. makes it a little easier on the mind. So that's a thing you can do. Just pretend that they're the dotted quarters. You'll get the same kind of results. They're staccatoed quarters. You'll get the same kind of results. But if you are a counter, which is fine, just make sure you circle those in, write them down. You don't want to play over them, and you don't want to come in early. All right, so let's go ahead and give this a try. Ready? Right at 17. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll just stop right there, even though I know you want to play that. End it. Okay, but you see it does help that those eighths with the rests, they land right on the beat. Okay, so that helps tremendously. This time, let's add in our articulations. Most of this is tongued. 21, we do have some slur action, so just do that a little bit there. All right, let's do it again. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect, and that's just where we are. Ta, ta. That's it. All right, this time we're gonna add in the dynamics. We have a little bit more dynamic movement in this little section. Okay, so we ended with mezzo forte, so that means that C is gonna be mezzo forte. After we rest, it's mezzo piano. And then it's magically mezzo forte at the end of 19. And then for those eighths at the end of 21, we're gonna decrescendo. So let's add in the dynamics this time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. All right, let's move on to 22. Okay, it's still, well, we're going to do 22 to 30. So there are some tricky areas. I feel like 27, 28, and 29 rhythmically is our most challenging spot. But let's back it up to 22. Okay, so here we just have eighth note action going on. 23 is when we hit our first 16th note, but it lands pretty easily. It's just rest. You know, it's nice and smooth, really. There's nothing crazy happening there. And then it kind of repeats there. We have our eighth rests again. So, but this time it's going to be opposite. It lands on the ands. So make sure you mark that in, okay? Da, 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 rest, da, rest, da. Okay, so make sure you're not thrown off by those. So you might want to circle those in. Might want to write your counts in for that section too. Okay, and then 27, 26 is the same thing. You're resting on the beat. You're playing on the off beat. You're playing on the ands. 27, same thing. We're resting on the 1, and this is where it gets challenging, okay? So you're resting on the 1, and then playing and 2 and 3, 4, and 1, 2, rest. 3, 4, 8, and Okay, so I do want to just take, and then 29, it's kind of a syncopated thing too. Okay, so it's going to not feel off, but it's not, you know, we're not playing on the strong beats. So let's actually play 27 to 30 real slow. And let's put the metronome to it so we can get like a good feel for it. Okay, let me get this going. I don't want to play 90, that's a little high for what I want to do. Let's put this at, let's see where I'm at, 65. This is gonna play really loud. Let's see. 2, 3. It's a little faster than what I want to do still. 1, 2. Still a little too fast. I mean, we're playing this slow. Maybe down to 50 might be our number here. Get a feel for it. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so you can see where the tricky part is, 27. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and a 1, 2, right? So that might take a little practicing. So make sure if you did struggle with that, write those counts in. No shame to have those counts written in. Okay, clap them out, count them out, kind of like we did. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and a 1, 2. Okay, and then continuing on to 29. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right, that could be a little tricky there too. All right, let's go ahead and play starting from 22 now, okay? Still nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Hopefully the little practice ahead helped us with that section. If not, just make sure you take time on your own. Do what we even did. Take your metronome slower, whatever you need to do. All right, this time, let's add in our articulations, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. I forgot to mention 26. Those Fs, G, F sharp, D, F natural. So if you missed that F sharp, circle that in. Okay, this time we're gonna add in the dynamics, okay? Starting off nice and mezzo piano, soft. Then we just come right in at 27, mezzo forte, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, excellent job. All right, let's take a look. 30 to 38 now, okay? So, in my opinion, we've beat the hardest part. So, this section, you're just gonna have to kind of watch your countings or your rests more of, just know for sure where 1 is. That'll just help. Know where 1 is, okay? So, let's just go ahead and give this a try. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. Let's talk about where some of our Fs are. So 36 works its way up to F sharp. 37, new measure, F natural. So if you missed that, mark it in. Okay. I think that's about it. Just 35, you got that F sharp down below. All right, let's add in the articulations now, because some areas are still slurred, some are not. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, excellent job. Let's add in our dynamics this time, okay? So we're still starting in mezzo forte because that's where we ended. And then in 33, we're going to decrescendo back down to mezzo piano. Middle of 35, coming right back in at mezzo forte. Okay? All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. All right, let's take a look 38 to 45 now, okay? So this is very similar to what we had in the beginning. I think it might be the same. Or at least pretty close, because like there's a couple eighth rests and stuff in here. Anyway, it's going to be pretty close, so we should feel comfortable and whatnot. So let's just go for it. Go for it all, okay? Do the dynamics, do the articulations, okay? You got this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. You can play that last C. Okay, now let's do 45 to the end, okay? Here, just watch your rests. Know whether you're playing on the beat or whether you're resting on the beat. Same thing, you'll be exposed if you happen to play over or if you happen to play, on the wrong end of it. You will be exposed, so make sure you know where you are on these, okay? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. So on those eighth notes with the eighth rests, are they coming in on the beats or on the off beats? They are on the beats, so that helps tremendously. All right, so this time, all our articulations for this section is tongued. So let's just add in our dynamics now. Starting with mezzo forte, we're crescendoing up to forte and ending on loud, and the end. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. So now we've done the whole piece in sections. So now let's play it from beginning to end with everything we've learned. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. excellent job. If you want to play along with the piano part, you can go to the Make Music Cloud. You can join our class. It has the backing track to this piece. Another thing is we are coming really close to the end, so if you haven't gotten your book 3, make sure you get it now, so you're not waiting on your book while we're going on and playing on with book 3. Can't wait. All right, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know down in the comments. While you're down there, don't forget to hit like, notify, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our practices. Thanks for joining, and until next time.